Today's February 15th. Spring has sprung, baseball-wise anyway. They're all down in Bradenton. There's plenty to talk about. And I quote, "Let's get after it." You're listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. His name is Jake. What's up, Jake?
It's Mardi Gras, baby.
It's spring training.
In the South, I'm going to tie this in for you a little bit. In the South, Mardi Gras means baseball's right there. So I've come to love Mardi Gras.
Okay.
I go to the parade 1 or 2 a year. I don't do all of them. There's a ton. Go to a few a year. I get my beads. Listen, despite what they think, you have to do nothing. They throw them off every float. They throw them to anybody. There's no real hidden meaning behind beads. Okay? Just gonna throw that out there. But no.
Gotta clarify.
Baseball's here. Baseball's here. And for me, since I've moved south, Mardi Gras is part of it. Mardi Gras,
not just
to
south,
me,
though. To a specific area.
It's mostly Gulf Coast area, right? It's mostly down here. We celebrate it more than others.
Yeah.
But for me, it is a sign that baseball's here. So I go ahead and jump on the train.
I told Jake I told Jake he looked like a cross between Mr. T and a Christmas tree.
Dude, and I got it. It's hilarious. It's perfect. It's spot on. And I get it. But listen, Mardi Gras is that time of year. It's tied in with some other things. It's looped into some negative things as well.
Yeah.
But it's the same time of year that baseball's back. So I have a hard time not jumping on board. I enjoy it. It's a good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. In the chat, I see Seth, Miles, Doug, Bucko, Mike, Greg. Good evening. Polarberry White, Martin. I think I named everybody so far. Happy birthday, Bucko Mike, to your mom. Yeah. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about because there are a lot of storylines this spring already. You love it, right?
I do. Especially from an organization who's not storied to have a lot of storylines during spring training.
Well, the stories are just the stories are more like who will show I don't know. They're just not as interesting as the storylines we might be looking at this year.
Right. That's fair.
So anyway, yeah, spring training. And you know what? There is some buzz around the Pirates. And so we'll see how much of that comes to fruition. Some of that is what it is, right? And so we'll get there. All right. So what do we got here? We've got games start this week, actually.
Can't wait.
Games, like actual games. And Pirates added one more bat before they started camp. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about that, although it feels like old news. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about that yet. So we're going to talk a little bit about that more. And chat, anything that's really stuck out, anything that's stuck out to you so far in these first 5 days or whatever it's been, let us know, and we'll try to get to a bunch of stuff. because there's just a lot to talk about. And today is really the first day I've had my voice like back. And it's not all the way there, as you can hear. So it's
When you texted me the other day, I had no clue.
I wasn't. I guess I just didn't bring it up to you. Well, it's like when Ozuna signed, I was like, this would be a good time to do something. Where man, I did text you the one point, and I was like, because I told you I was sick, and I was like, do you have time to do something? And you were like, I'm not home.
Oh, that's right.
Remember, you were in.
Yep, I was in Destin, Florida.
Yeah. So I guess I didn't tell you I didn't have a voice, but I was sick. So that makes sense. Yeah, we'll get into that stuff. First thing I want to do, I just said game start this week. We got a new thing. ABS is going to be, I know we saw it last spring, but it was kind of not. A lot of guys were like, I don't care because we're not going to have it in the regular season. They are now. They are going to have it in the regular season. And there was some buzz around earlier today, according to Jeff Agrest from Chicago Sun-Times, there will be a change to the viewer experience. Thanks to ABS, the K-Zone, it's been kind of slightly misunderstood a little bit. So if you've heard it out there, some have been implying that the strike zone box is going to go away. That's not true. When a pitch came in, there was a marker on the screen where it quote unquote crossed the plate. And there was an empty circle if it was a ball, a colored in circle if it was a strike. That will no longer exist. Jake, I thought we almost got rid of that stupid box. Now I call it a stupid box. You might like it.
Sure.
And anybody listening, you might like it, and that's fine. And I would argue, I did for a long time, but I guess what we're getting is a lot of complaints because you can see the ball where you think it is, and then you think you know better than the umpire. Well, that is like a plane of glass strike zone, right? I don't even know where it's at. Is it on the front of the plate? Is it in the middle of the plate before it goes back? I don't know. I know they put a little bit of extra on it, and I know that it doesn't change heights very often for hitters. That box is not accurate, ever. It's never been accurate. And even if, let's say it's back and it's in the middle of the plate, well, it could have still got the front corner.
Yeah.
Or let's say it's all the way to the front. That thing could hook and come back in the zone, especially up top. Can come back down into the zone. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that that box is just really wrong and really false assurance that was either a ball or a strike. So I'm glad that's gone. I think we can now see the pitch go in, and we can speculate. I think this is going to make the game a little bit more interesting. I think it would make it even more interesting if we didn't have a box. Just because why? Why have it if it's just showing up on, like, I would rather make it feel like I'm actually watching the game, not playing a video game. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So for me, I would like to say like, oh, I thought that was inside. And then watch the hitter go, that was inside. And then challenge. And then it's like, oh, let's go. I think there's more anticipation of us just speculating and being interested. And so like, Bucko Mike says the box is a guide. You're right. It was a guide. It was not accurate. The problem is that people watching that aren't as smart as Bucko Mike or I don't even say aren't as smart, but nobody's telling them that.
Right.
Nobody's telling them that it's not accurate. And so they're looking at it and they're saying like, I can't believe he called that a ball. We just got hosed. And it's like, well, maybe.
I think it's going to be interesting too, the way it plays out, the ABS, because I saw a clip of Chris Sale. Chris Sale is a veteran of the league, and he said, I will never challenge a call. He said, I'm a pitcher. I'm greedy. I want all of them. He said, so in the heat of the moment, he thinks they should all, but he's also accustomed to dealing with sometimes strikes are called balls. Sometimes balls are called strikes. I've already been at peace with it for my whole career. This is a veteran.
Right.
I'm at peace with it, and I'm going to live by that. Now, if my catcher has something to say, I'll let him say it. But as far as Chris Sale goes, Now, he's been one of the ones that's been talking about it a lot. That's why I bring him up.
Yeah, and you got somebody, like Kachu was saying he wishes they would get rid of the box. He was saying this before. He wished they would get rid of the box because he thinks it's going to be a more interesting presentation to not have it there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I do
you don't
too.
need it. The viewer doesn't need it.
Yeah. So I like the subtraction of the ball marker. I do hope that it gets somewhere where we can just get rid of the zone altogether. You'd still have it for replays, and you could show where it hit and all that stuff, and that'd be fine. But
you would have the 3D.
You could have the 3D one, yeah.
You know, when they show it in the replay, they're going to have the whole plate marked out and see where the ball crosses.
Sure.
I would imagine.
Well, not on the, I forget. I don't think so on the like replay, but they do show where it crossed the plate if it did.
Yeah.
Martin says they put in a timer to speed up games. This is going to slow the game down depending on how many challenges a team has. So the team has 2 challenges. The problem or the difference of that is, the caveat to that, I'm going to be drinking a ton of water, so I might have a couple. Anyway, the caveat to that is that you have 2 that you get wrong. So I was at a AAA game last year where both teams were challenging up until I think they got 8 straight right between the 2 teams. I don't remember the split, but it doesn't matter. And then, you know what I mean? It wasn't till like the 6th inning till one of the teams got something wrong. And then now they only have 1 challenge left. If you get it right, you keep your challenge. But what I will say is after seeing it in AAA quite often, like it is very short. It is tap of the hat. He turns around and says the batter or the catcher is challenging the call. They show it up on the big screen. It comes in. That call stands. We go right back to timer. So it's no longer than like a foul ball that a couple outfielders ran after and it went into the stands. Like that's how much time it really takes. I don't know if that's science, but that's what it feels like. Right?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. And it is actually entertaining. Like I actually found it like edge of your seat, like not like edge of your seat, like 9th inning tie game type edge of your seat, but you are anticipating the result of that. Right. Yeah. And it, you know, after the team gets 8 straight, hey man, the umpire's not doing very well back there. And you realize that like he's blown 8 calls that we've been able to turn over. But then there was another game where the teams were 0 for 4. Both teams were out of challenge. It was Columbus, which is Cleveland's AAA. They were out in the 1st inning. And I remember it because it was the shortstop. Who's the shortstop prospect? He played in the majors last year some. He was down in the minors a little bit. What's his name? Oh my gosh.
The stud.
Well, he should be. I'm not sure he's all the way there yet, but
no, right, but
oh my gosh, I just saw Arias. It's not Arias. Brian Rocchio.
Yeah.
Rocchio used 2 of them in the 1st inning in his at bat, and they were out of challenges. And so, like, that's a guy that I'd be like, there you go, Bucko Mike had it, but we were already past it. Thanks, man. But like, oh no, yeah, not Bazana because this was AAA, and this is a guy who actually was called up. I don't think he was yet. Anyway, yeah, it was Rocchio. And like, this is a guy that I don't think you're going to be able to say like, hey, you can't challenge. You used 2 in the 1st inning. We had 9 more innings to play. And he's like a top of the order guy.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I don't know if that was the Hunter Barco or the Bubba Chandler start, but it was like 0 for 2. And then, you know, Indianapolis was 0 for 2. I mean, theirs was way later, but they were also 0 for 2 in their challenges. And so like by the 4th inning, everybody's out of challenges. And you're kind of like, hey, Blue, you did your job. You know, you're doing pretty good back there.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, you know what I mean? But,
and I think that's why it's going to be interesting to see how teams allow, and especially the Pirates, who are they going to let challenge calls? Who are they going to give? You have a green light, dude. You have a yellow light.
Yeah.
You better be sure.
Yeah.
That you're correct. Like, it's just going to be interesting to see how the whole thing plays out. Is Henry Davis going to get the opportunity, or is the pitcher going to get the opportunity?
Right.
What hitters are they going to be like, hey, you can challenge, you can't?
Yeah. I saw a statistic, and then we'll try to get on to the next thing here. I saw a statistic that said that catchers were I wish you know what, I might still have that note if I go back. Because I kind of keep notes for. Let me see here. I might have actually wrote that down. I did not. Okay. The percentages of how right they were, and catchers were like 54% correct, hitters were about 50%, and pitchers were like 40% accurate, right? So like, it's mostly your catcher, which is why I was saying, like, when we started saying, oh, you bring this in, now catching is not going to be as important of a position because they're, the framing and all that stuff isn't going to matter that much. But it is, because if you make the other team challenge more often, then they're more like they're apt to get it wrong. And so that's why this is big. Like, that presentation is going to make them use challenges. And if you just nicked it and they don't think so, they're going to get them overturned. They're going to run out of challenges. Then you're going to get a call late in the game. It's going to be a difference maker. But also, when it comes to making the decision to challenge, catchers are going to this is going to be a statistic we're going to look at, Jake. What was Henry Davis's
100%.
accuracy in challenges? What was Joey Bart's? What are all the pitchers? Pitchers tend to be a little more emotional. I think that's why. I remember Bubba Chandler challenged 2 calls back to back in one of those games. He won the first one. He lost the second one. Right. I think that's how it went. But the thing is he was very quick to throw that hand up there and say, no, give it to me, man. And so that's one of those things. It is. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a different strategic move and all that stuff. I want to take a second to look at a couple of the things that people thought looked interesting. There was a couple in here. Not that one.
While you're looking that up,
yeah.
While you're breezing through there, just the White Sox manager, is it Venable?
Will Venable, yeah.
Venable. It was hilarious. They asked him about ABS. He's like, I'm glad it wasn't around when I was around because zone recognition was not my game. So
yeah. Well, what's going to be interesting is somebody like Brian Reynolds, because he does know the zone. He's also upset about calls all the time. And so I feel like he might be one of those guys that's a little too trigger happy on it.
Yeah.
Even though we think he knows the zone really well, he might be a little trigger happy. Okay, so Martin said one of the biggest things he saw so far is how big the password is. He's a dude, but he moves well for being that big too. I mean, they say he's like a good center fielder.
Yeah.
So he can handle the position.
He's an interesting one for me. I honestly, the way it looks right this second, I don't think he has a shot to make the team because I want him playing every day.
Yeah, and it looked, well, we'll get into that, right? Greg says they still need a third baseman. Triolo isn't an everyday starter. That's one of the things that we're going to get answered here. And probably something here. And then Miles says Paul Skeen's showing up as if the regular season starts this week. O'Hearn's enthusiasm again is infectious to hear on YouTube. Imagine being around that in person. Totally agree. And we'll talk about all these things. And the last thing here that I already shared once was Doug says, kind of a big deal that Don Kelly is asking alumni to come in. Yeah, I agree with that. He brought it up in the intro too. AJ Burnett is in camp. How do you what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I have mixed feelings about it, right? Obviously I love it. There's no downside to it. The mixed feelings isn't like good and bad.
Okay.
It's just like the mixed feelings for me is like, it's good. I mean, I love that he's here. I don't know how much impact it has.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Like
maybe an echo here.
Cool.
Bucko Mike says, who cares?
He's there. He's there for like 5 or so days.
Sure.
Like, I don't know what we're getting out of this other than the fact like, cool, AJ Burnett's back. He was a part of that winning culture, which is great. It's always good. Always a plus to have winning culture guys around the organization. Just wish he was around more. Like, yeah. I I don't just want him for a week. I want him more. So that's my mixed feelings. Like, I love it, but I wish we had more of him.
Martin says, I got autographs from Maz and Parker at Pirate City. I never would have gotten them. That's one of the things that I like about it is Ben Sherrington in particular doesn't seem like this has been anything that he's ever cared about. Right.
Yeah.
And so this is something that Don Kelly is doing. And I think it's good. Like, I remember them bringing guys like Maz to come in and help and to be around the players and do things like that. Dave Parker, as Martin says, and things like that. Like, you've got to, that kind of thing is you've got a whole like catalog of guys who've played in Pittsburgh. AJ Burnett has said before that he's wanted to do something like this and is appreciated. And a lot of teams do this. It feels good. Like, you want to look up to those guys who've been there and who've done that. And so I think it's a really good move. And I think it opens it up to more guys in the future. Like, get Jack here, get Andy Van here,
get Kendall here,
get Kendall here.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I love it. I just wish we had a little longer of it.
Sure. Kevin Young's been around in the past. He would be a guy that would be good to be in camp and just be around. Like, they don't have to be active coaches.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just guys to be around and to say like, hey, when I'm doing this, you know, Bucko Mike says, Maz was a World Series champion. It means more. I understand what you're saying there. Like, I get what you're saying there. But at the same time, like, I need help turning a double play, right? I mean, AJ Burnett was a world champion too, just not in Pittsburgh. So like, you're still talking about a guy who was a World Series champion. You know what I mean? But like, for Maz in particular, is I'm an infielder and I'm talking about turning a double play, and I got a guy right here who's the best that's ever done it. And I want to say, hey, Maz, man, what can I do?
We all remember the video of Omar Vizquel from like 3-4 years ago, whatever it was, when he's still got like lightning hands, like just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's in his 50s. Like, that stuff can be passed along. That stuff can be looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff to have around camp.
Yeah.
It can't be a bad thing. It just can't. It can't hurt.
How long do you think it takes before someone asks you about Kutch not being there?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't.
Do you
kind of
hope they do on his way out? Do you is there like a part of you that hopes that when he's on his last day there that somebody brings it up? Or would you rather say, like, if you want this to happen in the future, let's just not bring it up because we don't want him saying anything? Because he's going to be pro Kutch.
100%.
100%.
Kutch. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's tricky, man. That's getting into tricky territory. I'm telling you what. Tread carefully. Yeah,
one of the things I liked that Burnett said, and then, like I said, we'll move on. But one of the things that I liked is when somebody asked him about winning in Pittsburgh. And he talked about the fact that they came up short. But one of the things that he said was that winning in Pittsburgh, like, he's like, we got to know the fans a little bit. And it kind of changed. Like, a lot of players will say we win for the fans. He's like, we felt like we really were. Like, it actually meant something. He's like, the thing is if you win in Pittsburgh, they'll never forget you. He's like, we didn't get as far as we wanted to, and they still will never forget us. Like, that just means something to that fan base. And like, I think these players know that kind of stuff. They feel that kind of stuff. And I think in recent years, it doesn't feel that way because they're not showing up like they were when they were good. But this fan base, as hard as it can be at times, will show up if you win games.
At the core of Pittsburgh, it's a baseball city. As much as people don't want to hear it, it really was. And if you bring winning baseball back to Pittsburgh, it'll be a baseball city again.
Yeah, anytime you do that, right? Any summer that you do that.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about the actual team that's there now. I know we're excited about just like in general, but Pirates did sign Marcell Ozuna on their way in. 1 year, $10.5 million. An option for 27, $16 million option. It's a mutual option, which what we talked about before. There hasn't been a mutual option picked up. Oh, no, we didn't talk about this. We talked about this on 3-0 Take. There has not been a mutual option picked up since 2014. And now I forget who it was. It's a fun name, and I don't remember who it was, but I think it was just like a relief pitcher. But the mutual options just don't get picked up. Who had the mutual option right here? Man, no. I thought I put notes down for stuff. 2014. I looked it up, but I don't have the answer to it. Sorry. Anyway, bouncing back and forth between notes. Yeah, I mean, it's a mutual. It won't be picked up. They'll buy out the 1.5, which is why everybody reported it's a 1 year, $12 million deal. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they do pick it up. Maybe he does pick it up. I don't know. If he has a good year, he's probably going to want more than $16 million. So I don't know. No, Bucko Mike says Jared Hughes. It was not a Pirates player. I mean, league wide, there hasn't been a mutual option picked up since 2014. Not Pirates. League wide. I think it was somebody for the Yankees, actually. I think it was somebody for the Yankees, but like that's league-wide mutual options. They just don't get exercised, one or the other. I mean, you think about it, Jake. If he has a really good year, he's going to want to go back into free agency. If he has a really bad year, he's going to pick it up, but the team ain't going to. So I just don't know a scenario when a mutual, unless they just fall in love with each other. I don't know. But
I tell you what, though, I'll be honest with you. This would be one that could possibly be picked up. Like if he has a decent year, 16 million is still good.
Yeah, but I mean, if he hits 35 home runs, maybe, but he could get 3 years, 16
but
million.
But if he hits 28, that's still a good year.
Yeah, but I don't know that the Pirates might not do it. If they think there's going to be a lockout, I'd rather give him $1.5 million and not pay anybody else.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Robbie Cano, don't you know? I don't know, man. I'm going to look it up real quick. What was the last mutual option?
I just tried. It didn't come up with anything. Swishalicious. Nick Swisher. Ohio State
Nick
boy.
Swisher. Oh, no. You know what? According to this, it was 2014 Aramis Ramirez in Milwaukee.
So a former Pirate?
Former Pirate. I thought there was a different name the last time. So who knows when you look at this stuff up, it might.
You would have remembered if it was.
Yeah,
Ramirez.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
But this is saying, so anyway, it's still 2014.
Sure.
So, all right. So let's talk about Ozuna real quick. We'll probably spend most of the time a long time on this. What?
Ozuna.
What'd I say?
No, we're moving on to Ozuna.
Okay, let's move on.
And there's just, I just have the joke is, he showed up to camp and was introducing himself to everybody. Hi, I'm Ozuna from the Pirates.
Okay, so by the way, I learned about that when like a few days after we signed him. I'd never seen that. I'd never heard of that joke at all.
I am Ozuna from the Braves.
Yeah. You make it sound like never mind.
Dude, that was funny, man.
So, yeah, I mean, Buggo Mike says he's a great clubhouse guy. That's what I've been hearing from the Braves fans that have been talking to me. Not only that, but like, hasn't he helped out pitchers with things? Like, this guy's just like a weird, like, it's a guy that you wouldn't expect because obviously he has a history. So it was a guy that I wasn't expecting to, to hear. Obviously, as he says, A+ in the clubhouse, F- outside. So, I mean, like, we get that, right? As far as that kind of stuff goes, I think we're just going to leave that alone. For the most part, the only thing I'll say is he went through what he had to go through. And Ben Sherrington said, we trust MLB's whatever. So, okay, whatever. He was available to sign. He's been fine for a few years now. I don't know if it goes awry. I would just expect them to release him and pay him the money that he is owed. You know what I mean? I just put your money where your mouth is if something goes bad. So anyway, but as far as that goes, like I also am someone who believes in second chances. So, I'll leave it there. If you're building a baseball team, you bring in a guy, we obviously know that he is a DH only. And we thought we had a DH. But it looks like there's no more third basemen available that are going to make that type of impact like Suarez could have. And we'll get into the comparison of those two if you want to. But if your strength is pitching, you normally prioritize defense as a result of that because your strength is pitching. Maybe unless you're pitching a swing and miss, you don't have to. Some of the Pirates aren't necessarily swing and miss like that.
Yeah.
But building a baseball team requires puzzle pieces that fit together and make a picture and you're good, right? Not things that are jumbled around. So you traded away 2 starters that were supposed to pitch impactful innings for this team. And you have not replaced either one of them. So your depth has dwindled a little bit. I still think there's a fair amount of depth there, but it could go bad. Mm-hmm. Is the strength of this team still pitching is my first question to you. Or did we just become like good pitching now and good offense-ish, better pitching than offense still, but good offense-ish, but like bad defense? Like, is that what they've done?
Yeah, I think they've definitely taken, like, your top 3 are still really good. Your top 4 are still good. I think
but they're not.
Definitely took a.
You want me to say it, or you want to go?
Go ahead. I
was just saying, I don't know how many innings you're going to get out of somebody like Ashcraft or Bubba. Maybe all of them. Maybe they're just green light go, but there are still some concerns there.
And I could see you got Skeens and Keller who are, I'm assuming there's no limits.
No limits.
They're free go.
Yep.
Chandler, I think there's a limit, but I think it's a pretty high limit.
Okay.
I think they're going to let him go a little bit. And then you got Ashcraft who will have a little bit of a leash. But I don't think it's going to be super, super hindering. But I think there is that cause for concern.
Yeah, I've heard that like none of his injuries are related to each other, and they think he's beyond all those. So maybe it's the same sort of thing as Bubba. Like we'll watch for signs.
And I'll be honest with you, like nobody expects anything out of Jose Urquidy. However, take a step back a few years prior when he was pitching with the Astros and he was healthy. He was good. Like he was good. He was pitching impactful innings. He was pitching impactful games. He was winning games in the playoffs. This is a guy who really could step in and be a huge boost. He could also really step in and be absolutely nothing. It could go any way. But you do have Jared Jones coming in at some point, which he's on the 60-day IL, which was to be expected. It is not a setback.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be coming in. He'll be relieving some of those innings off of, say, Ashcraft. I can see a way where you can manipulate this team. I do think there's still room for another guy, and I think we should be looking.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to have not only protection if Urquidy doesn't, but Urquidy has not pitched very much. I don't see him going very far beyond 100 innings before he's gassed.
The thing about Urquidy is he is I don't think this is going to sound weird, but just trust me on this. I don't think he was going to be treated as a young guy building up innings. I think he's going to be treated as a veteran who, even if he hasn't pitched a lot of innings recently, it's just not going to be a leash. Like, they're going to let him pitch until his arm falls off.
Right. And that's the thing. As long as they need him.
Sure.
And as soon as Jones is ready to handle a 5-inning start after a 5-inning start after a 5-inning start, he's pushed to the bullpen.
100%. So I think they just let him go as long as they can, and he fizzles out anyway.
Yeah.
So then his inning total drops because he gets pushed out of the rotation.
Okay, but is this still is pitching still a strength?
Or I think it's still strength.
Okay.
I think it's still strength. But we're also on a little bit of a concern as well. It also Ashcraft has to show up. Some of our depth pieces still have to show up.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting spot we've put ourselves in. But I still think there's still a few names out there that could help.
Do you think it's still the best staff in the Central?
Man, the Reds have a good staff.
They've got question marks too.
They do.
Yeah.
It's a very similar staff.
Yeah.
Our one's better than their one. But
Cubs aren't there.
How does it go from there?
Cubs aren't there.
The Brewers always find a way.
Yeah, but the staff.
But it's not the staff.
It's not there. Yeah, and obviously Harrington and Barco. I mean, we got some things in the chat here saying, Barco's projections. Carmen Majinski is still in the fold for a starting spot, and I think as much as I do like him in the bullpen, I think right now with the situation that they're in, I think you have to do that. You have to plan for that. Like Clevenger has to be. We've got nothing left. Let's go to Clevenger. You know what I'm saying? And so, I feel like that's that. So. I put some numbers in there. As we talk about offense, pitching, defense, I put some numbers in there if you wouldn't mind reading them so I could take some more drinks.
Sure. So the top 6 teams in hitting by OPS were the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Phillies, Arizona, and the Mets. Pittsburgh was 30.
Right.
It's just rough. Top 6 teams in pitching by ERA were the Rangers, the Brewers, the Padres, the Guardians, the Red Sox, and the Royals, with the Pirates being number 7.
So right there.
And the top 6 teams in fielding by defensive runs saved would be the Rangers, the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, the Braves, and the Rays. Pirates ranked 10th in that category.
So you have the top 10 in ERA and defensive runs saved last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people that are listening to this be like, Pirates were top 10 in defensive runs saved. Well, Key Bryant played here for a while.
Sure.
So that went up a lot. Triolo does climb that a lot. And so, you had some of those guys. I don't overall think that the Pirates defense was a strength last year. Maybe that tells you where MLB is right now as a whole. But they were top 10 in defensive runs saved. There are more stats to follow in defense. This was just basically, let's just look at what we can do here, right? We're talking about run prevention. So that's what we're going with. ERAs, defensive runs saved. And you can see that there's some carryover in some of that. But that OPS, you're dead last. You look at the Rangers, who are first in ERA, first in defensive runs saved, 26th in OPS. Okay. They were 81 and 81. So you've heard us say a lot. A lot of people have been saying if the Pirates could just get league average offense, they're a top 10 team on ERA, defensive runs saved. Question is, are they still? And we'll talk about how this defense kind of fits in here in a minute. But, if they've got to be above 20th, they've got to get there, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe we're talking. Maybe we're talking if they can still be that. So let's talk about the defense real quick. Ozuna's a DH. And we know that. We know he's a DH. We know that this means O'Hearn is going to have to go out and he's going to have to play left field or right field. I don't want to, Reynolds could go to left. It's fine. Outfield. Sure. Reynolds outfield. Lau comes in. He's a second baseman. Horwitz, I think, is still first base. We're still trying to figure out the left side. Obviously, we've seen the guys in the chat here. They still need a third baseman, things like that. Yeah, I mean, that could still be a thing. Whether you believe in Triolo or not, he seems like he's slated to be a starter on this team, whether at third or at short. I think that all the stars align if they go out and acquire a third baseman and Connor Griffin starts the year at short, right? Or else Connor's at short, Triolo's at third, or maybe for a moment you have a third baseman there and Triolo there, and then maybe they let that run for about a month, and then whoever's better gets to play third when Connor comes up. You know what I mean? So I could see them doing something like that. If Connor isn't head over heels amazing, I could see them saying he's played, 41 games in AA? 21 games in AA. I think it's 21 games in AA. None in AAA. So I could see that it's not a ridiculous decision to send him to AAA. The problem with this is, and I've heard this before, I've heard the comments about the problem is if you start him in the major leagues and he doesn't get it done, you don't want to have to send the kid down. I am going to be the opposite, Jake. I'm going to be the complete opposite because if there's one thing we know about Connor Griffin, and I didn't mean to spiral this into a Connor Griffin conversation, but he's not on our things to talk about, so we may as well take an opportunity to do it.
Sure.
The one thing we know about that kid is that mentally, he's very mature. He's very tough. He can handle a send down without question. All you did by putting him on the opening day roster and leaving him there you got to let him play for a while. And if he's not getting it done,
a few weeks.
Yeah. If he's not getting it done after a month and you want to send him down and say we want to bring you back up. So go down and get things right. All you did was gave that kid information. And we've seen what he does with information. I am not worried about sending him down once he's here. He's 19.
I can't remember who I heard talking about him, but he's the type of guy who makes a change before somebody tells him that he needs to make that change.
You're full on baseball season. You just throw a bunch of seeds in.
I did.
You can hear it.
Some smokehouse barbecue. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
But I'm in. Listen, Mardi Gras here, baseball's here. I'm in. Baseball, let's go. I'm ready. I'm designing jerseys for my church league softball team. I'm in. But no, he's that type of guy who he knows adjustments sometimes before a coach goes to him and tells him to make it. He's making the adjustments. Who was he just facing the other day in camp? Live ABs.
It's been a few people, yeah.
But he was facing, was it Paul Skeens? I can't remember.
Yeah, he faced Paul Skeens. He's faced a lot of guys already.
He struck out his first at bat. Mm-hmm. His next at bat, he hit a line. I don't think they have fielders during live BPs.
No, they just call it what it is. It was a line drive
to left. He hit a line drive to left field. He made an adjustment against Paul Skeens.
You gotta get the seeds out, dude. Against Paul Skeens.
It's fine. It's fine. Everybody understands I'm eating some seeds, man.
Yeah.
It's just it's good to see, man.
Yeah,
This
and it's
kid
an
is
example.
well above 19.
Yeah. So it's an example here. And the thing is we're talking about, though, the send down. And I think he can handle it. What I would really hate is if you go ahead and start him in AAA and he struggles there. Now you've prolonged everything because now you can't call him up. Right. This was kind of, we've seen this play out as well. So a lot of things got to line up. And that's why, for me, I just start him in the majors. And then if you have to send him down and bring him up later, that's fine. If he still goes on a tear and he's only down for 2 weeks and he still gets second in the Rookie of the Year, you still get that draft pick because he started opening day. He doesn't have to go front to back, right?
Right. I think they should hold him down at first, only because I'm selfish. And let's bring him up, make his major league debut on Paul Skeens bobblehead day. That way we're all there.
I see you.
At PNC, let's do that.
I see you. I get that. Make his debut at home. For me, no, just start him. Well, I mean, once again, depending on how he does.
Realistically, you're right.
Depending on how he does. Martin says he's buying Connor Griffin cards now. I got one behind me. Look, I got the cards set up over there.
Nice. Oh, he lost the headset.
Here you go, Martin. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I don't know how to do it without.
Yeah, it's tough.
I just got to turn it a different way. Here we go. That's the best I can do. Look that one up. It's called Crystallized. And then I also got the Connor Griffin, Seth Hernandez dual auto.
I like that one. Not a big card guy myself.
Yeah.
But
that's out of 25. Both those are out of 25.
Yeah.
Those are some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Yep. Those are some pretty good ones. But anyway, maybe hit me up if you want to buy some cards, Connor. Martin. I've got some Connor cards right back there. Getting myself confused. I got a whole stack of them. So just let me know. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. But defensively, I've seen a lot of mock lineups, defensive lineups here, and I've seen O'Hearn in left, I've seen O'Hearn in right, Reynolds in left, and all that's fine. And the thing is I've seen a lot of these, and I keep seeing Joey Bart as a starting catcher, and I'm thinking, tell me you're not paying attention without telling me you're not paying attention. Like Henry Davis is the starter. I know they're pretty split. They're pretty split. But like, that's not it. You're talking about their opening day roster, and we know that we at least know Henry Davis catches Paul Skeens. So your opening day roster has to have Henry Davis behind the plate.
100%.
I don't even know why we're doing that. I mean, they're talking about trading Joey Bart. So anyway, that's what we're looking at defensively. That's what we see. Do you think that what they've done here, there's no more flexibility at DH? We talked about O'Hearn, we talked about Lau, we talked about Horwitz, talked about Reynolds, all those guys kind of rotating through and making that a real flexible position. And now it's not, because Ozuna's going to play. He's going to post 155, 160 games.
And he should. I mean, he's that caliber of player.
Yeah.
He posts that many games. He's going to hit you 25 to. Okay. This is a big range. He's going to hit you 25 to 35 home runs. I mean, he just is.
Right.
He's a hitter.
Yeah. And they're not cheap.
Right.
Top 6 in runs last year: Yankees, Dodgers, Brewers, Blue Jays, Cubs, Arizona. We talked about Texas, right? They were 81 and 81. They were 22nd in runs scored. Pirates were obviously 30th. There's some overlap with those OPS teams, but there are, like, the Cubs were not an OPS team that was up there. Milwaukee was third in runs. They're not one of those top 6 teams in OPS. I don't have it written down where they were, but they're not one of the top 6. And yet they still were in the top 6 in runs scored. So there are other ways to score runs. And the fact of the matter is you have to prevent runs and you have to score runs. And so now if we talk lineup, I don't know if you start with who bats leadoff, but this conversation seems to be a lot more fun and a lot more diverse depending on who you ask. Like I've heard a lot of different things. So if we're going out there with our starting 9, and I'll set the starting 9 and just say this is what we're working with. We're going to go O'Hearn in right, Cruz in center, Reynolds in left. This doesn't have to be this way. This is what we're going with right now. And we're going to, because this is who we have here, we're going to go with Horwitz, Lau, Griffin. Griffin's, let's go Griffin. Yeah. I don't think it really makes a huge difference. Let's go Gonzalez, Triolo. Or Griffin, Triolo, however you want to do it. Davis, Ketchum, Ozuna, DH. Fangraphs has Spencer Horwitz leading off, and then Brandon Lau, back-to-back lefties there. Then they go Reynolds, O'Hearn, Ozuna 5th, Cruz 6th. They have Gonzalez 7th, which I don't think is much of a difference. If you have Griffin, he's probably still in that same spot, at least early in the season. And then Triolo, and then they have Bart, but I'm going to say Davis 9th, right? If you start looking at that, what to you stands out and what would you change? There's several things for me.
So
who's your leadoff guy? We'll start with that.
The leadoff guy's tough. I think the lineup that you have right there, I think it's Horwitz. I think he showed enough last year that he's more than capable of being that leadoff style hitter.
Interesting. Interesting to hear you say that. I mean, he's very slow.
He is, but he's on base a lot.
He's on base.
He can hit you doubles. I think he's gonna have a more powerful season, gap to gap, because of what he showed towards the end of last year, and with a healthy off season, with a healthy spring training, all that good stuff. I see him being a more gap to gap guy, more doubles power type thing. Maybe translate to more home runs, but I'm mainly focusing on the slug right here. I think you're going to get a lot more out of your leadoff spot if that's the case. I think you're going to get more out of Cruz. You're going to get more out of just about everybody in the lineup. I don't see how you don't.
Okay, so if you're saying Horwitz, who's 2?
I'm still leaning on Reynolds to be 2. You got the switch hitter. In that case, you're facing a lefty. You're gonna have left, right, then left with Brandon Lau batting 3rd. If it's a righty on the mound, then you're just loading up with the lefties, and that's fine. I see Reynolds batting 2. I think he's been our 2 hitter for a long time, and I don't think that changes.
If Reynolds bounces back from what he did last year, I mean, there's a chance he's still the best, like, all-around hitter in this lineup.
Yeah.
And I think we get lost on that a little bit. I think your 2 most impactful hitters at the end of the year this year have a chance to be Cruz and Reynolds, who were already here. They were so bad last year that if they change, I think there's a chance they could be more impactful than the 3 guys that came in who are already going to be big difference makers.
Yeah, the thing about Ozuna is he is very consistent. He's gonna give you average and power, but still, yeah, absolutely, potential's there for those 2 to be your best 2 hitters in the lineup. Okay, and so they were already here.
Yeah. So who you got 3?
3. I'm gonna throw Lau there.
You're gonna throw Lau there.
Brandon
okay.
Lau.
Then they have O'Hearn 4. So are you backing up the lefty? I mean, O'Hearn can hit lefties, or are you switching Ozuna to 4 and O'Hearn to 5?
Absolutely.
So then the issue with that is you have Cruz, who's going to be back to back with a lefty. If you do that right now, they have Cruz sandwiched between Ozuna and Gonzalez. So I'll tell you mine because I think the biggest thing Polar Berry White puts in here, Cruz leadoff since Mangum is off the table. Cruz, to me, cannot impact this offense the way that he needs to from the 6 hole. I feel like if this team is going to make the playoffs, if there is a scenario where this team makes the postseason, Cruz will have had a good year, period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it works if Cruz doesn't. That's how I feel about it. I could be wrong, obviously. But I think that he's so dynamic and has the opportunity to make such an impact on this offense if he figures it out. And he doesn't have to figure it out all the way, but he can't have a season like he did last year. But if this guy gets closer to 30 homers, actually, gets to that point and still steals 30 plus bags, that's going to be huge for this team.
Yeah.
And the fact is right now, Ozuna's probably going to get some respect. You're going to start getting respect throughout the season, but pitchers are scared to face Cruz, even when he's bad.
Yeah.
He imposes that type of fear. For me, he's got to hit leadoff, but it's got to work. If it's not working, he can't stay there, and I get that. But I want to say, for me, I want him up there because sure. I want him impacting the offense more often. I know the on base probably isn't going to be exactly what you want, but I got to have him at the top. I think that's a thing. I think there are guys that I think if you put them in the situation that they have to be great, they'll be better. Where if you kind of hide them, they'll kind of feel hidden and maybe not come up to their full self. You know what I mean? So I like Cruz leadoff. I definitely like Reynolds too. I think because you need that righty after Cruz. I would rather protect Cruz. He's that much more important to this team because the damage he'll do as opposed to Horwitz. Okay? And then I'm going same as you. I'm going Lau. I'm going Ozuna. I'm going O'Hearn. And I'd really like a righty before Horwitz. But until Griffin's there and can hit 6, maybe I still do. Maybe I still put Gonzalez 6 and then Horwitz 7. If it's a righty on the mound, I feel fine going Horwitz and backing up those lefties. Listen, Jake, Horwitz is not bad against lefties. I know what we can look up, but if you look up what he did month by month, this guy got better and better and better and better. The hits weren't there, but the on base was. And I don't care how you get on base. This is why I say just get on base. And he was getting on base against left-handed pitching.
Yeah. And I'm all for Cruz leading off. I'd love to see Cruz leading off. But I also want Cruz to think he needs to earn it.
Oh, yeah. But I think if you're doing this, so Greg put one out here. He's got Horwitz first, Reynolds second, Lau, Ozuna, O'Hearn, Cruz. So again, O'Hearn, Cruz scares me. And I just seeing Cruz that low makes me feel like it's just not going to happen. He's got Davis. He won't play Triolo. We've seen that. And he's got Griffin 9. So even with those players there, if it's Valdez, he's got to hit 9th. And Davis 8th probably. You know what I mean? Unless Davis is figuring it out, which is fine. But
Cruz needs to come out in spring and have a good spring.
Sure.
He just has to. Because if he doesn't, he's going to find himself in that 6 or 7 hole.
And that makes sense.
Not 7, but like 6 hole.
Martin brings up, would you hit Cruz cleanup with Ozuna at 5? If I did that, that's actually a good call. So if I did that, I'd go Horwitz, Lau, Reynolds. And I'd sandwich Cruz between Reynolds and Ozuna. But the problem with that is now you got O'Hearn hitting 6th. Which, by the way, O'Hearn's quote, which we didn't talk about when we were talking defense, right? This is the right attitude. I love it. Mm-hmm. He just said, whatever they need me to do, man, let's get after it. I got 6 weeks. I can get comfortable in the outfield. Actually, he said comfy. The real quote was comfy.
He said comfy. I love it. And that's what you need around camp, especially around camp. Like, let's figure this out.
Yeah, this is actually interesting because Martin put in here, Cruz needs protection behind him. I'm starting to really think this through. If there's no one behind O'Neal Cruz. And he starts getting pitched around again. He can still impact with the stolen base. The
100%.
problem is you need those guys behind him to come through in order for that to even matter, which is why I like Cruz at the top. But there is something to that, but you do kind of take the slug out of his hands.
Yeah.
To Martin's point, right? So it just feels like if you don't put somebody behind him, like you want them to feel like, well, I can't walk Cruz because if I walk him, he's going to take second and I got Ozuna behind him. You know what I mean? So like I can't walk him. I've got to groove something here. I got to challenge him. That would make maybe I do like Cruz kind of in that 4-hole with Ozuna there right behind him. Or maybe, no, you can't do that. Lauer Reynolds can't lead off, right?
No.
It's funny that we keep coming back to Horwitz leading off, and a bunch of people were ready to sit Horwitz on the bench and play O'Hearn at first base, and we have him leading off.
Yeah,
that is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's up to Cruz. It really is. What offensive player are you going to be?
But you have to start setting some lineups before they play games.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at right here. Like I'll give
Cruz. I'll give Cruz the chance to lead off.
Greg. All right, Greg. I haven't clicked on these, so I want to get. We like Trio. He says Triolo can't hit before August 1st. I really need him to prove me wrong. So the thing is he can't prove you wrong unless you put him in the lineup.
Right.
So we're kind of at the point right now where we have to, unless they can acquire somebody at third, and I'll be honest, I don't see anybody who's enough of an upgrade to really make a move. Maybe there is somebody on the trade block that I just don't know about, but I would. You got to put him out there because there's two things that are consistent with the August 1st and all that stuff. Gigamosher brings up a good point. Horwitz, 834 OPS, 5 homers as a leadoff hitter. Easy decision for me. That also coincides with late season when he was a good hitter. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it necessarily was the leadoff, but there's no question, as he points out, there's no question he can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like he absolutely can handle the leadoff spot. Well, that's 100%. Not a question.
Yeah. I think it's cool to Martin's point. A lot more interesting predicting lineups than last year at this point or at this time. Like it is.
Yeah.
And I think offensively we do have a plethora of options for this lineup. We have a lot of offensive flexibility. A decent amount of flexibility.
Let's not. Yeah, I don't want to go too far with that, right? Maybe not a plethora. We have options.
We have options, and our problem right now is what options do we have defensively to suit these lineups, right? But man, you gotta like what we're putting out offensively this year.
One of my favorite games, and we'll play this when we do our projections and all that kind of stuff. But you know what my favorite games to play is every spring training, every off season or coming up to the season around these times. How many of these guys have the potential to knock 20 over the wall? You know what I mean? It's been a long time since we've been able to have, I think, even 3 guys hit 20 home runs. Like we just haven't had it. A lot of years it's only been 1. But even to have 3 guys, and I keep saying every year, this is the year we're going to have 3 players hit 20 home runs. And then they've let me down every year.
Yeah.
But I think there's a small shot Spencer Horwitz hits you 20 home runs, but there's a shot. If we saw what we saw at the end of the year, a healthy wrist all year, if he learns to hit in this park and then, you know what I mean, whatever. Brandon Lau certainly can hit you 20. I mean, it's almost, he's going to hit you 20 barring injuries.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need him to hit 30. Like, we see that, well, you hit 30, you hit 39 one year, but like it could be 23 and it's still good. Brian Reynolds certainly could do it. I mean, last year was a bad year. The 3 years before that, he had 24, 27, 24, or 27, maybe even another year in there.
I think he hit 27 twice.
Ryan O'Hearn is like kind of like Horwitz. The potential's there if he has a little hot streak and runs into a few extras. Ozuna's certainly there. Cruz certainly has the power to do it. He's done it now 2 years in a row. So, like, yeah, we could have 4 guys hit 20 home runs in this lineup.
Yeah.
Not to mention, if Connor Griffin's here early enough, could he have a shot to hit 30 home runs? I'm sorry, 20 home runs, not 30. Not 30.
Yeah.
20 home runs.
Not to mention, if Hank has some power.
Oh, my gosh. Well, here it is. Greg says, Horwitz, Reynolds, Lau, Ozuna, Cruz, Henry, all over 20, calling it now. Who'd he leave out there? Anybody that we just talked to? He didn't say Lau. Oh, no, he did.
Yeah,
Man, I'm so dumb. Horwitz, Reynolds, Lau, Ozuna,
he
Cruz.
didn't say O'Hearn.
And Henry. Didn't say O'Hearn, which is fair.
Yeah. I think Horwitz and O'Hearn are very similar hitters. And I think if you're going to call out and say Horwitz is going to do it.
Well, but maybe only one of them does.
Sure.
That's his call.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
You're saying he could.
You could go either one of those two, and it's the same call out. I think they're very similar hitters.
Man. I mean, and I'm just talking potential. I'm not making that call yet. I'm not calling that many that many guys yet.
Yeah.
But
we'll
don't be surprised if that's on my hot takes. Don't be surprised. You're getting the preview right now. Don't be surprised. But that is something that, like, there's potential. This is the most players we've had potential for something like this. I believe one of our potential guys one year was Peggy. That was a guy we listed as potential to do it. We're not fooling around with guys like that right now.
No.
Sawinski was always on that list, and he's earned that because he did it. He hit 26 one year, right? But that's feels gone too.
Yeah, man. I like the way the offense is shaping up. It's just feels weird. Just to throw this back a little bit. It's weird not talking about Kutch in these lineups.
Yeah.
But
he does. Here's the thing, Jake, and I've heard this a lot from a lot of people, and obviously we didn't get our opportunity to go down there after Ozuna. And I don't really feel like we need to. I think we've said what we feel enough that people probably know exactly where we are on it. But I even said before that I didn't see Kutch as a starter this year.
Right.
Even before Ozuna.
Yeah.
So, like, this really doesn't, I mean, I thought immediately that it was like they just closed the door. But the truth is it doesn't have to. You know what I mean? It really doesn't have to. I don't know. I see that. Martin says, got Password and Valdez knocking at the door too. Esmerlin, I'm assuming, because I'm sorry, Emmanuel Valdez is not knocking. Well, I mean, maybe he is. Again, one of those guys just has to show up, but in order for me to consider it. But yeah, I mean, when you think about that and you say, like, well, going into next year, if you've got Password coming up, my goodness, imagine we're really going to need Horwitz next year to play second base. Like, he's going to have to. If we end up with Ozuna still a DH, and you bring, or I guess you could just say, if you don't have Ozuna and you could put O'Hearn or Reynolds at DH and you could put Password in the lineup and you're fine.
Yeah, that's assuming we have a season next year.
Well, I'm always going to assume we have a season until we don't. I think that's going to be my stance. Is that, like, moving forward, like, I'm just gonna assume we're having a season until we don't. I know the truth. I know we might not, but I'm also hopeful that something gets done. Because I'm only here on this earth for a short time, and I want to watch baseball during that time. So get over yourself, right? Work together, cooperate, come to an agreement. Each side has to concede a little bit, and let me watch baseball. The real losers in these situations are us. Okay, I'm done. Anyway, and whatever. I also understand that things need to change. in order for this to be, the Pirates just being hopeful every spring training. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, even with this team that we like, because we're used to seeing different lineups, we're still saying, if everything goes well.
Mm-hmm. That's the story for everybody.
No, it's not the story for the Dodgers. Everything didn't go well. They had 2 different pitching starting rotations last year.
You're right. But
they can absorb that kind of stuff.
It's most teams.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that would say it doesn't have to, though.
I will entertain this. Triolo could get 20 if he plays third every day and picks up where he left off. I don't agree, but I will echo this as in there's some chance that there's a decent hitter in Triolo, not a 20 homer guy. I don't think there's a chance he hits 20. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Jared. Yeah, I'd love it. I'm here for it.
The one thing that we have to remember in all situations is that the games are played on the field, not on paper. Mm-hmm. And so until, if he has a spectacular season and has like 12 home runs, then I think it's pretty safe to say he's probably not a 20 homer guy.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what spectacular looks like yet.
For him, if you can come out and be a hitter, a decent hitter, hit 10 home runs, 8 to 10 home runs, be on base at a clip of 330, 340, I'm taking that out of my 8 hitter. I just don't care.
Yeah, especially
have an OPS plus of 100. I'm in. Have an OPS of 96. I'm in.
Yeah.
You can be our third baseman.
Well, especially with the defense.
Yeah.
Greg says if he could hit as good as Jordy Mercer, I'd be okay with him. I don't see that potential. So listen, Jordy Mercer, when Triolo first started coming up, I comped him to Jordy Mercer. Their minor league careers were on a straight parallel. It was crazy. The problem is, 2 years ago, Triolo completely changed his swing. Now he looks ridiculous for one, but for two, I no longer see him as a higher average guy. Like, and when I say higher average, I mean like Jordy Mercer a lot of times hit 260 to 280. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I think 260 might be Triolo's ceiling. But I think he is trying to hit the ball in the air more. He is trying to hit the ball further. So if he's clicking, I think there is a chance he runs into a few more than maybe Mercer did. But I don't think he'll hit for the same average unless he changes his swing back. He's no longer trying for base hits. The guy swings literally straight up in the air.
What was Mercer's best season? Like 10? 10 to 12, maybe?
At least 12. I think best season, was around 12. Yeah, 12, 11, 14, three different seasons 14. Right there. 14 was his top. But those averages, I guess maybe 285, but then it was 255, 244, 256, 255, 251, 270. So yeah, maybe, 256, 315 on base. The thing is that's where I was going to say, like, Triolo is going to be on base more than that. If he's hitting 256, he's going to have higher than a 315 on base. Like, Triolo walks. Jordy didn't walk a whole lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, dude, I went back. I did this on the fan forum one time. When I was on their show, we were talking Triolo, and I said, listen, here's my comp. It's Jordy. He looks like Jordy Mercer.
Yeah.
So I love that you brought him up because I really do think that. So yeah, this is a good point too. Like, Jordy mashed lefties and so does Triolo. Like, I'm telling you, these guys are so close to each other.
Yeah.
I think Triolo's glove is better. He gets on base a little bit better. I think Jordy was a little bit of a better hitter, like all around hitter. So anyway.
Yeah. And I think the glove is pretty parallel if you played them both at short all the time.
That's maybe a fair point. All right. What else we got here? Because we're at time basically. The Pirates don't have a third baseman yet. Maybe there's a trade. Maybe there's not. Maybe there's another starting pitcher. These are all storylines that are also included in this spring training. Like, they don't have to be done. There are players out there: Anderson, Corbin, Giolito, if you believe in that. There are guys out there, and so they could add another starter in this mix and see and have more of a competition for that number 5 spot. And obviously third base, we'll have to see how it shakes up. There's part of me that believes they're just not moving on this third base thing until they see Connor in some games, or at least see him work out a little bit more and see, like, do we really believe in this? Because, like, they're not looking for spring training results. They're looking for process. They're looking for at-bats. They're looking for talent and ability and things like that. So they're going to know beforehand. But
I've heard this going around, kind of pirate sphere, we call it that, instead of an atmosphere.
Yeah.
If you give Connor a realistic opportunity to take the job, he's that type of guy. He'll probably take the job.
Yeah. And I think the
realistically,
good.
Realistically, if you think, we want you here, but we want you to attempt to save some service time.
Which,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, but the Pirates have shown they don't care about that.
But, and also, if you finish in there's things now. There's parameters for that. Sure, you can try to save his time, but if he finishes in the top 3 of the Rookie of the Year, it didn't matter anyway.
Top 2, I think, yeah.
Top 2?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter anyway.
No, he's getting the full year.
Yeah. So it's a caveat at this point.
Well, the last thing I'll say on Connor, and then I do have one more thing. I know we're at time, but I do have one more thing I'd like to bring up, because there's one more big question I want to ask, and I think it really kind of puts a bow on this episode, and we can continue to talk about it moving forward. But the last thing I'll say on Connor is, for me, the sending him to AAA, I think there's more risk in starting him in AAA than there is in sending him down if he's not doing well. And I made that case earlier in the show. And if you weren't in here, you can go back and listen. Actually, if you send him down after he's been here, I don't think it ruins him. All you've done is give him information. He will take that information and he will fix things. But if you send him down initially and he struggles, then all you're doing is prolonging everything. Right. And so I think you're better off and now, depending on how he does, you know what I mean? If it's like, we could send him down or we could call him up, he's been that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jared Jones did have to give up 0 runs in order to make the team when he made the team. But they did it. They've done it before. They've started guys right away. I don't think it's completely out of the question. The thing about him is that 21 games in AA. But just for once, Jake, can we be the team that does it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been, I think, Aramis Ramirez since we started a guy at 19 years old. Like, can't we be the team that does that? If it works, it's fantastic. If it doesn't, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
He can be sent down. If anybody can handle that, it's him.
Yeah.
Give him data. Watch what he does with it. That's all he's done so far.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt his feelings.
But I think if you do that, you can't have a quick trigger to send him down.
Well, you got to give him a little run. Yeah, you got to give him a little run.
You got to give him at least a month.
Yeah.
Before you decide, like, hey, we're going to send you back down. Here's some things we want you to work on.
100%.
And he's going to be like, yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I need to work on it. I think he's not.
He's confident. I'll be back.
He's confident enough, but he's also humble enough.
Yep. All right, let me ask you about this, Jake. And this is something that I think a lot of you guys are probably either thinking or you're questioning, and even you guys that really like the spring training hope, and we're there, we love it too, and it's something we have to bring up because 5-year rebuilds are difficult for this reason, right? And I've seen the conversations that are going around and what people are saying. when you do a 5-year rebuild plan, it includes stepping stones. And you watch this team have a winning percentage of whatever it was in 2020. It was awful. And then it was a little bit better. And then it was a little bit better. And then year 4 it was a little bit better. Right? No. 20, 21, 22, 23, yes. And then you go into 24 and you have the same exact. That's where this thing went wrong. Yeah. You should continue the stepping stones. And so we talk about the moves that they made this offseason. They should have made before 2024. They should have made those stepping stones. What you need to do is you need to start showing these guys that they can win games. Because it's hard. And the question is, there's a losing culture in Pittsburgh. How are they going to just lose a losing culture? And it's like, hey, don't talk about my team like that, but like there's some real stuff here. These guys need to figure out not only how to win games, but that they deserve to win games. And that, you know what I mean, that they're earning these games and how to continue to win games. And you do that with stepping stones. And then obviously in 25, they even took a 5-game slide. So they've done, like, the front office has failed the last 2 off seasons to make stepping stones and to do extra things. Now, what they've put on here could possibly be a stepping stone year. We're saying, like, there's a chance they make the postseason, and that's still true. Mm-hmm. But it also could be a stepping stone year and nothing more, because you're telling a lot of guys, even guys like Mitch Keller who've been around a while, you're telling a lot of guys who've just been losing a ton of games that now it's just time to win, and we're going to win. Right?
Yeah.
Martin says, well, they got rid of Shelton. It was buried by the time, they were buried by the time he was fired last year. Don Kelly did take a step forward, right?
Yeah.
And so we do see that, but the roster didn't. And I think that's one of the things that I would have liked to have seen. So 2025 in that rebuild should have been the year we were pushing for the postseason. And they not only didn't, they got worse. So that's bad. 24, no improvement. 25, step back. Can this team just flip a switch? Or are we going to see moments of figuring it out still?
I think you're going to still see a few moments here and there. But I also think bringing in guys like Ozuna, O'Hearn, Brandon Lau, those are big parts. Those are like veteran guys. Those are...
Ozuna's one. Right?
Yeah, he was with the Braves when they won the World Series.
Nope. No, he wasn't. He has not won a World Series.
He wasn't.
Nope.
Okay.
They won in 2019. He showed up there in 2020. Didn't they win in 2019? I think so.
Yeah.
So 3-time All-Star, Gold Glove. A Gold Glove was a long time ago in Miami. A couple Silver Sluggers, but the thing is like, yeah, none of these guys have won a World Series.
But they've been in winning baseball.
They've been in winning cultures.
Yes. Yeah. And so you're going to see that, I think, play a big factor. I really do. Donnie Kelly, I think, is going to play a big factor. He's been around people who've won. Big time influenced by Jimmy Leland, who's won. Bringing in culture guys to spring training, like an AJ Burnett. It's just, I think that you're going to see sometimes, but it'll be a lot less than it has been in the past.
Oh, we haven't seen moments of figuring it out. They haven't figured anything out yet. So like, O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, like these guys need to actually like see it. They haven't seen it. Mitch Keller. You know what I'm saying? Like they've just been losing. Now they've had hot streaks. Every team has hot streaks. But what I'm saying is like, when you're just putting together series win, like things are going well, that's fine. when you start to lose some games, can they get out of it?
Yeah.
And that's the big thing is like, are these guys ready to just flip a switch and say, we're not going to lose back-to-back series. We're not going to go on an 8-game losing streak. Because those kind of things with a team like this, like if you were sitting here saying, I think this might be a 85, 86 win team, then I think culturally, playing for an empty stadium early on, if you're not winning quite yet, culturally, could you say, okay, well, if I think the talent is 86 wins, I'm probably going to slot them in at 83 because I think there's going to be some growing pains. You know what I mean? Or, you know, whatever. And I think that there's a possibility that you could see something like that's going to be the hardest thing this team is going to do. Can they collectively flip a switch and change the culture? You know what? That's a good thing we did not bring up. Polar Berry White says Jacob Stallings too. So that might be something that's going to be really interesting. Thanks for bringing that up because we didn't say anything about him being in camp, in the front office, all that stuff. That's the big question I have for this team. Can they flip that switch from, and you know, say it however you want. If you want to say losing culture, say losing culture. That's fine. I'm not going to fight you on that. It's hard to argue.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Don Kelly builds that culture though. But the question is, can they get to a place where it's like, no, we win? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might be the biggest question this team has outside of talent. And once again, where you're going to see that, I believe, this is my opinion, this is not factual by any stretch. My opinion, where you're going to see that is O'Neal Cruz. We've already seen the desire. We've seen the how much he's worked to be a better center fielder, to be more of an impact. He walked up to Don Kelly and said, I want all of them. I want to face every hard-throwing lefty we have in camp, all camp. Bring them at me. Like, I have to get better against lefties. And he will. We've seen it from him.
Mm-hmm.
You like that commitment.
Yeah. You like the commitment. You like the attitude. You like all of it. Like, bring it on.
Yep. Let's get after it. That's what we should have called this show. Let's get after it.
Yeah.
I like it. There's good attitudes, and I think that they have the ability to back some of it up this year. I think it's all going to come down to like, will they be able to turn that corner when things start to go rough? If they lose a guy or two to injury, will they be able to bounce back and say, next man up, we got this. We're a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that. You can tell I'm getting to the end of my night. So let's shut it down, man. It's been a fun episode. This is the beginning of spring training. We're going to keep these shows going for right now. We've got some things up our sleeves. We're trying to figure out here coming up throughout the spring and all this stuff. We've got some fun trips planned and stuff like that. So it's going to be a fun spring training leading up to what could be a really exciting baseball season for Pirates fans.
Yeah.
You got anything to add at the end here?
WBC, here we come.
That's right. That's the beginning. You got anything else to add here?
It's just fun. Like I said last week, it's the all the things, right? It's just great getting all those videos, getting all the stuff and sights and sound of spring training.
Oh yeah,
on Twitter or X, all that stuff. Just getting it and watching it every night.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at my sound clips that I like to play. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of negative ones. You know what I mean? Got your dang it Bobbies, your Lottie frickin' da, your one pathetic loser, just when I thought you couldn't be any dumber, all those things. Go get someone who knows what they're doing, all those things, right? Mm-hmm. Let's get those replaced with some fun quotes. Remember last year we had a moment where we had chest out, what was it? Chest hair, guts out, Bucks win, baby.
Yeah, something like that.
Let's get some fun quotes on here, and then we're trending in the right way. But Martin says, Jake, don't wear those to the games. I was going to say Mr. T starter kit, but you're all full blown there. All right, guys. Let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
Thanks for listening to my dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks!